big players in the field, which was not possible before, because what small and mid-sized companies can do now is concentrate on identifying biomarkers and developing diagnostics that employ those biomarkers, develop health management tools that are essentially IT, computer-related tools, and then that data analysis methods and platforms that can be helpful to help the patient and the whoever is maybe is physician or a nurse that is looking after the patient be much more in control and make the treatment more efficient, more patient-specific, and therefore more appropriate for the patient. And now we get at last to the IP value. If you asked an Israeli company a couple of years ago, do you have a chance of becoming an important player in the biopharma field, with maybe one exception, the answer would have been no, because if you need to spend between $100 million if you're very, very lucky, and $1 billion if you're less lucky to get a product on the market, that's not something that Israeli companies can do. But as we go and turn from the approach of developing new drugs and new treatments to the approach that says, let's take the ones that exist and make them more efficient by developing the delivery systems and by all the means that I have discussed before, then we may be able to find bottleneck inventions that will be of critical importance to the big companies, because if you find, for instance, a delivery system that makes a drug that company A has useful or more useful for a certain segment that is in need of that drug and that cannot use it in the form it is now, then you become a very important player for that company. And the place where the IP factor comes into play is the moment you identify bottleneck inventions. And at that point, we will be able to protect those technologies. But to do that, we need to take a different approach to IP than is common in small and mid-sized companies today. And first of all, and this ties in again with what Dr. Oprah said a few minutes ago, we need greater knowledge of the problems. We cannot work in the way that many companies do today, that they pinpoint a single problem and go after it. We need to gain, in our field, in the field where our company works, much greater knowledge, much broader knowledge of the issues, so as to be able to identify where we can come in and add the value. We need to be willing to adapt generic solutions based on technology that we already have to patient-specific niche markets. That means giving up the dream of having one single product that will be a multi-billion product on the market and concentrating on giving value to a plurality of markets. And again, we need to shift our thinking, the focus of our R&D from the big players to the patient. In other words, we must stop doing what we do today, that is, think how we are going to be appealing to this company so they can buy us up, and turn to a model that says we are going to look what the patient needs, we are going to bridge the needs of the patient and the capabilities of the big companies, and we are here to stay and to develop those capabilities and not to be sold to the first that wants to buy us for a mere few $100 million or so. If we look at the Israeli technology and the abilities of the companies that are around, and not all of those companies are in this room, many of those again are software companies, IT companies, electronic companies, that the companies that are more focused on the biomarket must bring on board. We have a concentrated knowledge that can become very, very important for Israel. We can develop a very lucrative market here based on technologies that we already have. And again, bridging the gap between those technologies and their use in the biopharma field. But we have a hurdle that has to be overcome, and which is we need, as I said a few minutes ago, we need to invest much more in learning and becoming more knowledgeable about the problems, the issues, and the needs of the market. And that is something that is not in our DNA as Israeli R&D companies. We want to wake up in the morning with an idea and start working on the solution in the afternoon. In order to be able to do that, the government has to come on board and invest and give those companies the ability to do that, to invest in that, and that means spending money on the Israeli market. And I think that there is an understanding of that, but whether the money will be forthcoming is an altogether different story. Oh, thank you.